Hello fellow modelers, Bruce here. What you're looking at is a rock casting that I probably made 3 years ago, so it's hard as a rock. And what I'm trying to do now is cut a mine opening into that rock before I color this and install it on the backdrop. And when you're going to work with old dry plaster, the best thing to do is take a little sponge, dip it into some warm water, and soak the plaster first, and let it, not just the surface, just let it all soak in. Then I drew the outline of the mine opening in pencil, which is getting harder to see now that I've been soaking it. And now I am drilling holes along that line to guide me, and I can tell from the drilling that the plaster is getting softer, and every once in a while I take that out and clean out the drill bit. And I'm using an older drill bit here, one that was already getting a little, there you go, came all the way through, you can see on the back. So yeah, I'm going to do that first. I got 2 more holes to drill on this, and then I'm going to start scribing along that line across those holes with various dental tools, dental picks if you will, and then I might need to get an old number 11 blade out, put it into my hobby knife and start scribing with that as well. One more hole after this. And that one's through. And I can tell that the plaster is significantly softer than it had been when I got started here. Of course, once you get those holes in there too and you put a little water on, then the water is getting down deeper into the plaster. So this is the process. I've done it before when I wanted to cut, let's say, door and window openings into plaster brick castings. And it takes patience. If you try to rush it, you're going to break the plaster. And I have it on a semi-soft piece of cardboard, piece of paper, and so forth. So now I am going to start just carefully etching a beginning line here. I think you can see I'm using a pretty sharp pick right here. Okay, and when I'm done with that, I will probably go to this baby here. So just don't try to push too deep, just start etching a line in there, and going from one hole to the next. Be very careful on the edge here. As a matter of fact, I will probably turn this around and pick away from the edge like this, so as not to tempt the piece to break off. And that's it. It's a slow and steady process. So I will continue working on it, and I'll show you when I have made some progress that you will be able to see. Alright, talk to you again soon. Okay, folks, there you see the end product. I did, once I had used that pick to get down, probably 1/8 of an inch. I have this old beat up razor saw that I have only used for plaster, and I was able to pull it back, and get a good part of the way down. Of course, I couldn't do it along this direction. That I had to use the pick. So anyway, there's the opening for the mine. Now I will do some coloring on this with first an alcohol and India ink wash, and then the Woodland Scenics stains for plaster. And once I get it the way I like it, I can glue it to the backdrop around the opening I have for the Idaho Springs mine, and get on with more work. All right, talk to you again soon. Alrighty, just a quick update. This is my first coat of any coloration on that mine opening, and what I reached for was my 1 teaspoon mixture of isopropyl alcohol, 91%, and 1 teaspoon of Higgins Black India ink. And I'll let that dry, and then I'll start trying to get some other highlights in it. And when that's done, glues onto the backdrop. And I have various other pieces of rock that I want to glue to the backdrop that will stick out from the foliage. So they have to be colored as well. Probably got 4 of those ready to go. I cut those with that for plaster only razor saw that I showed you, and yeah, that's, and then I'll probably use the same thing to give a first coat to those tunnel portals. Lots of stuff to do. Okay, talk to you again soon. Just continuing on with these rock castings before I glue them onto the face of the mountain. After the 1% light mix of India ink and alcohol on the castings, I went to the Woodland Scenics stains for liquid pigments, they call it. They're water soluble in slate gray and raw umber. And with the slate gray, I'll tell you, you mix it about, I don't know, 15 parts water to 1 part of the pigment. And you could go just a little bit stronger with the raw umber. Try it on a place and see whether you like it. But you don't want it to be too dark. And then I'm to the stage now where I am dry brushing some highlights onto the surface. And for that I use a real old folk art paint that's been in the family for decades. Had been my mother's before she passed it on to me. Icy white, and I have not been able to find a replacement for it. It's kind of like a bluish white, and I use it to put highlights on waves in water, and also to just put some highlights on the ridges on stonework, and just get a little bit on a very stiff cheap China brush here, and just drag it over the surface, hitting some highlights of the ridges to make them pop out a little bit. And as with many other things that we do, so I just have a little bit here in my palette, and I just get a little bit on the edge, and then you don't want it flowing down into the surface of the rocks. You just want to drag it across the top ridges here. And like I said, like with many other things, it's better to put it on the light side first, and then if you want more, come back, because you have a double of time getting it off. I had done the this upper piece here, the opening to the mine, and that's already been highlighted to my satisfaction. And yeah, let's just continue doing this real quickly. And then once these dry, I am going to get a caulk adhesive. I'll either use what's in the gun right now, which is liquid nails for projects, or I have some more aggressive ones than that if I want, and glue these to the foam mountain outline in the backdrop. And I'll go over to the layout later and show you what I have in mind with that. But this typically looks pretty good. Now, if you look at one of these close up, you can see both the umber showing through and the slate gray. So you're getting a variation right there instead of it being dead slate or all brown. Makes it a bit more realistic. I made these castings a couple years ago when I was working on the lower deck, and probably made more than I'm going to need. But while you're playing with plaster, you might as well get enough done so you're not digging it out all the time. And one last piece here, and we'll let those dry. Just dragging it across the ridges in the castings. I'll hold one of these up in a minute and show you what I'm talking about. But the extra few minutes that it takes to do something like this, well worth it. Alright, here's that piece I showed you a few minutes ago with the gray and the browns, and now you got the white highlights on the top. It'll show up good. Alrighty, we'll come back with an update when I'm gluing these to the backdrop. Talk to you then. Okay, now you can see what I had in mind with these rock castings protruding out of the mountain backdrop. Yeah, I'm going to be putting foliage all around that, very, very similar to what I have down here, but instead of having the stratified rocks like you see here, this is going to be more like granite rocks protruding. So yeah, and over there is going to be the Campbell grist mill right by the covered bridge. And that is the mine opening that I've now painted a dark color inside, and it's going to be the Idaho Springs mine kit that will, remember there's a trestle that goes into the mine, and it'll probably be sitting out about like that, I guess. And then the tracks that service the mine will disappear under that, and that's some of that hecky, or hecky, kind of like a, on the back it's very shiny, but I guess it's like a vinyl. And I've used this back in New Jersey on my other layout, and it blended very, very well with the rock castings. Now this has a little more brown in it than this has, but it'll be fine. I can put some of that down in there, so if somebody peeks around the corner, it looks like they've blasted a tunnel down through there. So yeah, that's all coming together. I'll just finish up this little video more on working with those rock castings than anything else by showing you a little section done with the foliage around it, so you can get the better picture of what we're talking about. All right, talk to you again soon. Well, I've started to put the foliage up on the mountain, And that's the way the rock will peer through it. Kind of tidied up the edge over here by the cut that the dry stream bed. Tidied up that end of the what had been where I left off a year ago. So yeah, I'll continue doing this. I use foliage clusters in both light green and medium green, and break it up into pieces and then use a hot glue gun to put it on. So there we are, and it takes me a while, but I'll do a little bit each day and get this mountain done. This has got some depth to it, so I can put some little trees on the top of the mountain too, because it's starting here, it gets to be an inch thick, I guess, an inch and a half. Alrighty, talk to you again soon. As always, if you enjoyed this little video looking at using the caster plastings and cutting holes in them, please give it a thumbs up, and if you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Talk to you again soon.